Hi everyone, we're here to look at Microsoft Teams within Glow. So first of all, what is Microsoft Teams? Primarily it's a collaboration app that's used to help your school stay organised and have conversations and keep information all in one place. Now that means that you can have video meetings, you can use team chats, and you can share files and resources online. Now, just for context, where, how and when might you want to use Teams? Well, it's an online service, so you can use it absolutely anywhere. That means as long as you've got an internet connection and a device, you should be able to access Microsoft Teams. The how? Well, we're going to be using it through Glow, that's our main platform. We get an Office 365 licence from Education Scotland to do so. So all you need is your username and your password for Glow to get started. And the when is really up to yourself. A lot of people are going to be using Microsoft Teams as a way of moving learning online, as a way of keeping in touch with colleagues, staff members in their school, and running their meetings digitally. But you might also use it as a way of linking with groups across Scotland or anyone else in the Glow platform. So Glow provides access to many Office 365 tools. The main one that we use is arguably Microsoft Teams. Now everyone who has a Glow account has access to Teams either as a member of staff or as a learner. Now the reason I'm saying here is the same but it's different is that's because Glow offers a light version of the Teams app, which means there are a few things that we don't get access to that you might on the full version. However, there are still lots on offer which we will talk about as we're going through this video. Now the first thing to cover is where do we actually find Teams in the first place? Well, Teams is part of Glow, so first you'll have to log into Glow using your username and password, and when you come to your Launchpad you'll be able to find Teams either through the app market or if you've already installed it to your Launchpad, just look for the Microsoft Teams icon. And once we click on that we'll be taken to our Teams homepage. Now when on your Teams homepage, if you've already joined a bunch of teams, you'll see a list of them like the tiles that I can see here, and these tell me the relevant teams I'm a member of. Now I may have created some of these teams, some of them I may have been invited to, but we'll cover that when we go through the video. One part is, what do we actually see when we're looking at Teams? Well, if you see at the top left hand corner I can see the activities icon. It's going to tell me any recent things that have happened in Teams. Maybe I've been tagged in a post, maybe someone's added a file, maybe someone's tried to get in contact with me. We also have a chat function, which means you can chat to individual members of staff or groups of people if you like, and that's an instant messaging tool there. Clicking on the Teams icon again will just take us back into our Teams overview, showing us which teams we're part of. And the assignments function, if you're using this as a classroom teaching tool, you can set assignments here for pupils. However, you may be using Google Classroom to do this at the moment. The calendar function is very self-explanatory, it just gives us access to a calendar. This means that we can timetable and diary our meetings and invite people to them from there, meaning we can do stuff ahead of time. We also have a call icon which allows us to make calls to individual people, and there is the files option to show any files that you've uploaded or have been shared. Now, a really common beginner question with Teams is how do you go about creating your first team to begin with? So if you don't see any teams in this list, it means that you're not part of any teams, and if you haven't created any, you won't see them here either. Now, the first thing to do is click on the Teams icon at the left hand side. Once you've clicked on that, click Join or Create Team. Now if you have a code, you can join any other teams you've been invited to, but what we're going to do today is create our first team just by clicking on the Create Team icon. This is going to give us a few options for a class, professional learning community, depending on what you need. Select the most relevant option. I'm going to go with professional learning community because that's going to allow us to do some of the things that we want to do, like share files, start video calling, that kind of thing. Give it a name and a description, and crucially, always keep your teams private unless you really want them to be public. In the case that you do make them public, just make sure you're aware that anybody can join them if they have the code, and anybody can leave any messages or anything like that, so we'd always recommend keeping them private to begin with. Adding people to your team is the next step, so as long as you've got their Glow username, you won't have a problem adding them. Just type their username and the directory will bring up the relevant person. Right now we're going to add Pam. We get our username and click add, and then we can make her a member or an owner. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's how you would add them in. Once we've saved all those changes, we can now see that our team has been created. You can see that it's called Test Team, and we're now free to add in any conversations that we want. So this is our main stream page. So this is where any conversations that we want to share with our team members will appear. Here we can see is a welcome to the channel. People could now reply to that. If we click on the files tab at the top, we can see any files that we've shared, and there's also the option to add in a notebook if you want to do that as well. Now, just because we've created a team doesn't mean that we can't make any changes. The three dots next to your team name will give you a few options to make those changes. Here we can see manage team, adding in staff and making other changes to your team are still available. So if we click on add staff, for example, we can add a member of staff to your team just by going through the same process of searching for their username. If we click on manage team, we're going to get a few more options there, such as responding to requests that might have come in. Maybe someone's used their join code, you can find them there and approve them. You can manage your channels here, and you can also change the image that you want to change or set user permissions for your team. This means that they might not be able to delete things that you don't want them to delete, and you can do the same for guests. If you do want to share your team, you can generate a team code. All that people have to do is type that code into the team's join code area. So if we click on the teams icon, go back to join and create, we can now enter that code there and join the team as a member. Now that you've created your first team, you might want to start utilising the channels function in Teams. Channels are another powerful function within Teams as they allow us to break different areas of your team up into different topics or subtopics. So for example, at our head teachers meetings we have over 70 participants, and we also have them split into clusters and areas by education manager. This means that the channels can be used individually in order to have separate conversations and separate video meetings, meaning that they don't all have to be in the same space and can faction off into groups if they like. Now, to create a channel, all we have to do is click on the three dots next to your team name, go to add channel, give it a name, a description if you like or if you think it's helpful, and save it. The only thing to be careful of is that there are a finite amount of channels that you can add that will be automatically visible on your page, and that means that if you create too many channels, some will show as hidden and you'll have to click to highlight them. So just be careful about how many channels you're creating in the first place and how many you actually need. Now, to keep this relevant for schools, I'm going back to our test team channel. I'm going to add a new channel, and the first one we're going to create is called Geography. The idea being that we're splitting this channel into different subjects. Now again, the description here is optional, but it might be useful for the purposes of what you're trying to do. And the most important part here is that we click the box that says automatically show this on our team channel for all members. So just make sure that you've clicked that. Once you've done that, you can now see that the team appears in the left hand side underneath the general channel. We can create a second group for science and just repeat the process. This will show underneath geography. Now this means that you can keep the general channel for any general information, and then you can keep your subject specific information located in each of those channels, meaning that you've now broken up your team and made it a bit more efficient. And just to show, here we are now in the general channel, typing a message that everyone will see if they're on that channel. However, this message will not be posted in the geography or science channel, and here we can see that here. So it means that you're free to have different conversations in different areas of your team. And if you've created any channels by mistake, click on the three dots and scroll down to delete. And once you click delete, it will be instantly removed from your team and you'll no longer see the channel. Starting a video meeting is very straightforward. All you have to do is be in your main team channel where you've got options to start a meet now. Now, if you want to find the team that you've just created, you can go back to the teams icon, scroll down, and you'll see the relevant teams that you're part of. Click on your team and you'll be taken back to your main page. So here we are back in the main stream, and what I'm saying here is I'm going to start a meeting. So the Meet Now function in the Teams app is very powerful. It means that we can just create ad hoc meetings and people can join them. So right now I'm just starting a meeting. All you need to do is scroll down, find the little camera icon and click on it. I'm not going to put my camera or my audio on, but I'd recommend that you do. And now anyone who's on the stream can now see the meeting that I'm putting forward, and all they have to do is click the Join Now button. Make sure to give your meeting a relevant name so that people know the meeting they're joining. So that's a really quick and easy way to start a meeting without having to diary it in. Once your meeting's up and running, it should look something like this. You'll be able to see your colleagues, and there will also be an option to share your screen using the share tray. Now the share tray will give you access to sharing your desktop, or a window, or even a PowerPoint if you want to share that. If there's individual files that you're looking to share, there's also the option to browse for that individually on your PC, so you'll know where that's stored and you'll know what that looks like. The final tool that we have in Glow is the whiteboard, and like it says here, it lets you collaborate visually, and that means that you can use this to even draw up ideas almost like what you might do on paper in a meeting setting in person, so it does give you a few more options, and when you're ready to stop presenting, you can just hit stop presenting. There's a couple of different ways to join a meeting in Teams. One of the easiest ways, and probably one of the most common ways, is you'll be sent an invite which will appear in your calendar. Now, calendar is available on the left hand side of your screen at all times, and if we click on the calendar, we'll see any meetings that we've been invited to. So looking at my calendar just now, we can see that it's pretty clear, but I do have a meeting on the 22nd, and if I click on that meeting, I'll be asked to join now. What the computer will then ask me to do is make sure that my microphone and my camera is switched on so that I'm visible and people can hear me in the meeting, and that'll allow me to join that conversation. All of the same options are available to us here, such as the ability to use chat, the ability to invite other people, raise their hand, that kind of thing is still an option here. You can share your screen if your presenter allows you to do so. And just when you're done, remember to hang up. Another way you might be asked to join a meeting is to join a Meet Now. Now we can see in the test team site that there's a Join Now meeting on the main channel and the general channel. And again, when we see that and someone's instructed us to join a meeting this way, we just need to go to that channel and click on the Join Now, and that means we can join that Meet Now. There's no difference in functionality of doing it this way, it's just another option to help you set up a meeting that you might find a little bit easier if you prefer. The calendar function in Microsoft Teams is really useful in order to set up your meetings in advance and send out your invitations to whoever needs to attend. Now, to do this, click into the calendar icon at the left hand side and then go to the top right of the screen, clicking New Meeting in order to set up a brand new meeting. Now, give your meeting a title. In this case, we're just going to call it Meeting. And then we need to search for the participants we want to join the meeting using their Glow username. If you search for the Glow username, you'll see them appear here. Now there's easier ways to do this. You could do a Meet Now in the team channel and anyone who's on the channel can join, but this is just another way of doing it in advance. So all you have to do is get the attendees, get the appropriate time, date, and then at the bottom of the screen you're just going to fill in the information that you want to fill in. So maybe in the description box you want to have some information about maybe what the meeting is, an agenda, you can attach a file here, that kind of thing. So again, like setting up any meeting, you're just filling in the boxes on the screen and making sure that all the appropriate information's there. When you're done, you can save it. Now we can see it in the calendar, and if you click on it, you can either join that meeting or you continue to edit it if you think you'd made a mistake or there's something you want to change. And when we click back into that, you can actually see that there's a meeting link in the description box now. Now a way of making that easier for yourself is just to copy that description box after you've added this for one participant, and you can copy the link there and send it through email. Now anyone that's got that email will be asked to join that meeting. All they'll have to do is go into their email inbox and click on the link, in which case they'll be asked to open up Teams and join the conversation. For anyone that's used Skype or any other service that provides an instant message service, Teams also has one of these available to us. So if we click on the chat icon at the top left hand side of the screen, we're now taken into any recent chats that we've had. And if you haven't started any conversations with anyone, you won't see them here until you have. Luckily, I've got a few that I can refer back to just now with Pam, and if I click on Pam's name, I can then see the chat history that I've had with Pam. The chat screen more or less looks like the team main channel screen. So at the bottom of the screen, there's a conversation box, and all I have to do is type my message in there and press the return key in order to post that to Pam. Now, there's a few options at the bottom of that screen as well, so I'm able to attach files, I'm able to send emojis or anything like that if I wanted to do that, and I'm also able to video call or phone call Pam through this screen. As you can see here, I've typed a message to Pam, and if Pam wants to, she can reply to that message. Again, like any other area of Teams, you can see that there's files at the top of the screen, and any other options that we have will appear up there as normal. At the top right hand side of the screen, we can add more people into the chat if we want to. There's also the phone and the camera sign there, which means we can either call or video call whoever's on the chat at the other side. So I'm just going to quickly hang up on that call before Pam calls me back. And that's how you would start an instant message or an instant chat or video call with anybody on Glow. At the top left hand side you can see that there's a box we can tick to add a recipient for a message, and this is how we set up a message chat with someone in the first place, just by searching for their username as you would normally and clicking on it to start that chat. All your previous chat history will be stored on the left hand side. It's also worth noting that the chat function is available within a video meeting itself. You can see if we hover over the screen in the middle of the video, we can see the chat icon. Now this meeting chat is available throughout the duration of your meeting, meaning that if you type anything here, participants will be able to see what you've written, and it means that you can take questions live and also respond to them. There's also a built-in way to like comments and maybe attach thumbs up, that kind of thing, just as a quick way to show that you've seen a comment. If someone's got a burning question, you can use the raise the hand function, and that means you'll know that someone's got something to say and you can maybe ask them as part of your video just to say that out loud. If there's someone who should be at the meeting but you can't see them, you can send them a direct invite by using the People tab and finding their Glow username and pinging them an invite directly. A really common question we get asked is how do we set up breakout rooms in order to facilitate training a little bit more efficiently? Here's a quick and easy way to create breakout rooms in Microsoft Teams. First, go into your team channel and click on the three dots next to your team channel name. From there we're going to click on add channel, and once you have the channel option open, start giving your breakout rooms the relevant name they need. For this example we'll call it breakout room 1. You can give your group a description but it's not required. However, you will have to click the box to show this automatically on other people's channels. There are a limited number of channels that you can create that will auto show on a person's team. That means that some of them will be hidden if you create too many, so just be conscious of how many groups you need to create and how many breakout rooms you need to create. Once you're finished, click on add, and that will push the channel you've just created to the team, and anyone who joins will see that channel in the team. Once you've got your channel created, you're then going to have to assign people to go into those breakout rooms to manage them. So for example, if you're delivering training and the breakout rooms need a presenter in each room, make sure that the presenters go into that room before their attendees do. Once they're in that room, all you have to do is click on the Meet Now button, and anyone who's supposed to be in that breakout room will be able to join the meeting and have a conversation with the breakout room presenter. It's also good practice to be the last person to leave the meeting, or make use of the End Now function, which is available when you're in your meeting. If you are going to be running training that involves multiple presenters, it's a good idea just to have a quick test of this by setting up maybe a fake meeting and inviting a few people along to it, to make sure that your breakout rooms work and the people you're delivering the training with or the meeting with are familiar with what's expected of them. Another common question we get is how do we make guests a presenter and how do we find their attendance list? Within Microsoft Teams, making guests a presenter and finding your attendance list can be found in the Invite Participants tab. It's worth noting that you have to be the host of the meeting in order to get these options, or make someone else a presenter to get these options. When you click on this tab, at the very top corner there will be an icon saying People with 3 dots beside that. Click on the 3 dots and you'll get 2 options: Manage Permissions and Download Attendance List. To download your attendance list, simply click Download Attendance List and you'll be generated an Excel spreadsheet with all of the people who are present at your meeting. To make anyone in your meeting a presenter, go down to the list of people who are present in your meeting, click the 3 dots beside their name and select the option to make them a presenter. This will give people the option to share their screen and take part in any training that's been delivered. In Renfrewshire Council we use multiple tenancies for accessing Office 365. Some people might have a corporate account, some people might have a .schools account, and some people might just have a Glow account. If you have a combination of both of those, you may find that there are some issues when you access Glow to begin with. Now, Education Scotland have pulled together quite a good resource showing you how to troubleshoot some of those problems and how to get around some of those issues, so we can have a look at that just now.
I'm using the Teams desktop app. This can be downloaded for free using your Glow credentials. Once you open up the app, at the top right-hand side, you can see which tenancy you are signed in to. If you're trying to access Glow, you need to make sure that it says Glow Scotland at the top right-hand side. If you're a member of other tenancies using your Glow account, there's a drop-down menu and you can jump between the different accounts because they're all linked to your Glow email address. However, you may have a local authority Office 365 tenancy and you're automatically signed in with your local authority account. The application is quite happy for you to sign in and out of these accounts by clicking on your profile picture at the top right-hand side. At the bottom, you can select to sign out. This is usually signing out of your local authority tenancy if you want to access Glow. You will then be taken to the Microsoft Teams login page where you enter your Glow email address. You then simply select Sign In. My computer remembers the password, but in your instance, you might be taken to the Glow login screen where you have to enter your password. Once you've done that, it will sign you in to Microsoft Teams with your Glow account. Again, you can confirm that by making sure you see Glow Scotland at the top right-hand side. Once you're finished using the Glow tenancy, you can simply repeat the process by selecting your profile picture, sign out, and then you could sign in with your local authority account. Clearing cookies in Google Chrome. Settings at the top right-hand side. More tools. Clear browsing data. Select all time. Check the three boxes and simply clear data at the bottom right. Clearing cookies in Microsoft Edge. Settings at the top right-hand side. Settings towards the bottom. Privacy search and services on the left. Choose what to clear. Select all time. Check the boxes. Clear now.
Thanks very much for watching. If you have further questions or any other issues that you're facing, bear in mind that you can email the Digital Learning team at any time at digilearnren@renfrewshire.gov.uk and your query will be picked up by a member of the team. If you're looking for any more tips or guidance on Glow or any of the other Office 365 tools, make sure that you check out the DigiLearn Renfrewshire YouTube channel. Thanks very much.